In this example, we're going to work with the savings plan formula. And I want you to imagine that you are starting a college fund for an infant nephew. He'll have this fund when he turns 18 years of age. You intend to open a savings account with 2% APR, and you will make regular monthly payments into this account over the next 18 years. And so that your nephew will have $15,000 for college on his 18th birthday. How much money do you think you need to deposit monthly? Before you start this problem, I want you to take a minute or two and you pause the video and think about, approximate that value, what you would think you would need to deposit in order to reach $15,000 in 18 years. Because we're making regular monthly payments here, we are going to use the savings plan formula. Now I want you to notice I've given you some information. The APR here is 2%, so I've written that as APR is equal to 0.02. Because we are making monthly payments, then N is equal to 12, and we will assume that your nephew was recently born so that you will be making these payments for a full 18 years. The savings plan formula has 5 variables here. So we notice that we have our APR, we have our N, we have years, we do not have payment, but we do have A, we have $15,000. That is our future value, so that should go here for A. Now usually we have everything on the right-hand side and need to solve for A. So in this problem, I want you to pause the video and take a moment and think about how we will work this particular problem out. We have 4 of the variables for the equation, and we are left with one single variable, and that is the payment. So we will need to solve for the payment. If you think about this product on the right-hand side, we have a variable times a number. These fractions inside of fractions, they do look kind of scary, but we have all of the constants to fill in for that right-hand side. So because we really just need to solve for payment here, and we have multiplication, then we'll be able to isolate payment actually a little bit easier than it might have looked in the beginning. Using the constants that we have from the prompt, so our future value of $15,000, APR of 2% for 12, so for monthly payments, so 12 times a year, and for 18 years. I've substituted those into the equation that we have, or the savings plan formula that we have. You'll notice that I took the liberty to multiply 12 times 18, so that's the exponent here, 216. And since we have all of the constants necessary, this is really just a number. You can go ahead and evaluate that on your calculator now if you'd like. You'll notice that payment is simply multiplied by a constant. In order to isolate payment here, to get this alone, I will simply take 15,000 and divide by the constant on the right. Because that is approximately 259.739974, so we're dealing with money and solving an equation, I want this to be as exact as possible. So remember, do not round until the very end if you want your answer to be as exact as possible. In fact, if you could use the answer button on your calculator instead of typing a number this lengthy in, that would be ideal. So to isolate PMT, we divide both sides by that constant multiple, and I have that PMT is approximately $57.75. Now, this is a bit off because we did round that answer before, so I do want you to keep that in mind. But this is an appropriate estimation for this particular problem. I just want to remind you to be as careful as you can possibly be and use the answer button whenever possible so that your answers are exact. please remember to wait until the very last step. Computer will help us make sure that we are working the problem correctly. This problem tells us that in order to raise $15,000 for our nephew over the next 18 years, we need to make monthly payments of $57.75 into that savings account with 2% APR. Notice that over time, we are making 216 payments of that $57.75. This means that we are actually contributing $12,474. That remaining amount, the difference between our future value and the amount that we are actually paying towards the savings account, that would be the gain from interest from having the savings account. This is an example using the savings plan formula that should help you in your homework. Best of luck.